Hi, Willem Dafoe here, and welcome to, I meant Steve here, welcome to Classified Captures. You know, so many of you people have been calling me Willem Dafoe, it's getting to my head.
And today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from evidence of conspiracies you've never heard of to clips of cryptids you never even knew were out there. Are you ready for the shock of your life? Let's dive in. Starting today's episode, we got this controversial clip that allegedly comes from China. And you might not like my opinion. In the clip, we see an older man who allegedly has the power to walk on water, but he doesn't sink. Instead, he runs on the water while everyone laughs and cheers him on. It was allegedly a community event, and many gathered to see the veteran show off his skills. While the run does look cinematic and impressive, I fear that's all it is. Don't get me wrong, we love paranormal clips and make it our job to bring you the best compilation out there, but this is basically CGI or AI, surely. While it does have a fantastic story to evoke emotions, the visuals aren't perfect. Even the sound is all messed up. The jacket of the old man changes the fabric a few times during the clip. Unless he also unlocked the ability to change his garments while running fast, this just isn't it. Also, who is the cameraman who's able to keep up with his speed demon at such speeds? You know what? I've said enough. Perhaps we should move on to the next clip. Before we do, though, do not hesitate to share your comments.
Maybe Julius is having too much of an effect on me.
No, that's a UFO.
Next, we've got a potentially big expose from the unlikeliest of sources. This comes from a man who was parked on the side of the road in Lancaster, California. Traffic had come to a standstill because there was a large truck passing by. Being the rare sight that it was, he began filming as the truck drove past him. Indeed, it was a massive truck, hauling something large on its back. Whatever it was completely covered in white material, but through the cover, you could see blinking lights underneath.
Oh no, that's a UFO.
At first he thought, well, that's odd. As the truck went by him, he started to think its shape sort of looked like what you'd expect a craft to have. It was at this point he started to wonder if it was a UFO being transported. Taking a second and a third look at it, I'm sure I would have thought so too if I was there. But then again, the military sometimes transports things it considers classified via means like this. The only difference is they usually don't have disco lights. Forgive my French, I meant bright lights on them. This has got in the community wondering if this was just a routine transport of classified military equipment, or if this was actually something extraterrestrial being quickly transported to another location without the usual stealth protocols they employ. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you've been on this channel for a while, then you've heard us talk about the many conspiracies that state that the government has secret agencies and projects that are actively recovering alien technology from crash sites around the world. Despite not having concrete evidence to prove the government is actually doing this, some in the community believe this is evidence that these agencies exist. You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
Oh no, that's a UFO.
Apart from Bigfoot, one of the most talked about cryptids in the cryptid community is Dogman. It's a creature that's said to be a hybrid between a human and a dog, very similar to a werewolf. Now, many have seen the Dogman, but the man who recorded this clip you're watching potentially had a close encounter with the beast and didn't even know. He'd been gone camping for 2 weeks and set up a trail camera to keep an eye on the campsite. One morning, while the sky was bright, he left to get some fish from a nearby river. When he returned, he noticed something had gone through his stuff in the tent. At first, he assumed it was just animals and didn't think much of it. He enjoyed the rest of his camping trip and headed back home. But when he got home, he reviewed the footage from his trail cam and he was shocked by what he found. 2 images appeared to show what looked like a Dogman. From the image, we could tell that the creature was huge, covered in black fur, and walking on all fours like a wolf. But when you focus on its face and shoulders, it has an almost human-like appearance. The creature had noticed the camera and was walking toward it. Since the camera was motion activated, it only captured 2 photographs, but those were enough to send the paranormal community into a frenzy. Many believe this is one of the clearest images of Dogman ever captured. Of course, skeptics have their own theories, but some think it's just a person in a costume, while others believe it's an ordinary wolf. But now that you've seen it, what do you also think? I can't be the only one who wondered what we are looking at here, right? This was also captured by a man exploring the woods, only it doesn't look like any animal or cryptid we recognize. According to the individual who filmed this, he was just exploring the woods when something fell. He tried to look in the direction to see what it was. Imagine his shock when he realized that the thing was also looking in his direction, trying to see what he was. The eyes, the snout, the overall shape, it's hard to tell what we're even looking at. That's only if you're a zoologist, of course. Any paranormal enthusiast will think that's an alien or skinwalker. The funny thing is, the comments in the comments section of the original post were mostly these 2. There was a third unusual one, though. Some pointed out that it's possible that this was a bear with mange. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but after taking a closer look, that actually makes sense. I tried to find out who started the bear comment, and you wouldn't believe who I saw. It was Julius using a Smurf account. He was probably tired of having to explain this to us in the meeting room, so he started dealing with it at the source. The shocking thing is, I actually sided with him. Maybe that's a sign that the end is nigh.
Por eso es que es uno de los espantos más peligrosos que existen en nuestro estado.
If you pay attention to paranormal encounters, you'll notice that Mexico is one of the places with the wildest and most terrifying stories and encounters. Consider that a disclaimer, as the next clip comes all the way from, yes, Mexico. Unless, of course, you already live in Mexico. You know what? Back to the clip.
A la Mauser. Bestia. Una colota, pa.
¿Estás viendo, Naomi?
No manches,
Vean
tiene
eso.
una colota. Vean.
Ah, su pinche madre, vean
Una
eso.
turroña.
A couple was driving home late at night, following a remote bumpy path that ran between 2 dense forest areas. Everything was quiet until they saw something ahead of them that caused them to stop the car immediately. Standing in the middle of the road was a figure dressed in a long black worn-out robe, completely covered from head to toe. The figure appeared to be limping and holding a stick in its hand, almost like an old frail witch straight out of a dark fairy tale. Except this wasn't a story, this was real. The couple sat frozen in their car, watching as the figure slowly made its way across the road, disappearing into the woods on the other side. It never looked at them or reacted, it just kept moving as if it had a purpose. But here's where it gets even stranger. When you look closely, there's a tail dragging behind it. In Mexico, and in many places that believe in the paranormal, this would immediately be called a bruja or witch. And with that tail, what exactly are we looking at?
Una colota, pa.
¿Estás viendo, Naomi?
No manches,
Vean
tiene una
eso.
colota. Vean.
Ah, su pinche madre, vean
Una
eso.
turroña.
Have you ever wondered how portals came about? Because we have footage of a man experiencing strange events in his garage, and many believe this could be the portal opening up. It all started when he was woken up in the middle of the night by strange vibrating sounds. Confused, he got up to check his living room but saw nothing out of place. But as he was about to head back to bed, he glanced out of the window towards his shed, and that's when he noticed something odd. The shed door was slightly open, then slowly closed like something had slipped inside. Thinking it might be an intruder, he rushed outside to check, and when he got there, nothing was there. Determined to find out what was going on, he set up a camera to monitor the shed, hoping to catch who or what was entering and leaving. But here's where things got even weirder. The footage never captured anyone physically entering or leaving, only the door opening and closing by itself. And the vibrating sounds would start and stop randomly with no explanation. One night, as the vibration started again, he decided to run outside immediately, and that's when he saw it. A tall black figure standing right beside the shed. It looked humanoid, but there was something off about it, almost like it wasn't fully solid. And the moment it noticed him, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread. When he shared his footage and experience online, almost everyone said the same thing. They believed that there could be a portal inside his shed, allowing entities to come and go, which might explain the door movement and vibrations. But if that's true, how did the portal suddenly appear? Portals don't just open out of nowhere, do they? Does anyone have any idea what could be going on here? Next, I have two clips from two different witnesses, recorded on the same day, but at different times and both in the US. What makes them special? Well, both of them believe they heard the cry of a dragon in the sky. Let's take a look. The first clip was from Philadelphia. A man in Philadelphia was filming a beautiful golden sunset when he suddenly heard a loud, eerie sound from above. It was like the cry of a massive creature. The second clip comes from Dallas. This one was deeper, booming, almost thunderous, as if something huge was lurking beyond the sky, hidden from view. And they were convinced that whatever it wasn't normal. The conclusion both parties came to was that those were definitely the cries of a dragon. When I first saw both clips, a part of me almost immediately agreed with them until I heard Julius's voice. Yeah, his shrill yet commanding voice asked me how I knew what a dragon sounded like. I was about to give him the slam dunk of his life until he hit me. I'd never heard of a dragon before, and neither had those who recorded the clip. So how do we know that's the voice of a dragon? For a few seconds, we had the most deafening silence in the office, and then he walked away with a smirk on his face. That Julius. I don't know why, but I felt like my arch nemesis had just handed me the defeat of my life. When I honestly thought about it, I realized that it only sounded exactly like the dragon wars we hear in movies, but this is real life. So how would we even know what a dragon sounded like if nobody alive had ever heard one? Also, are dragons real? If they are, what do they eat? Let's think about this for a second. If dragons actually existed, would humans even have a chance to survive? I mean, forget Daenerys and Game of Thrones, let's be real. Would we even exist if creatures that powerful roamed the earth? But then again, if aliens are slowly being proven real, maybe dragons aren't such a crazy idea after all.
And this is why I dislike talking to Julius. He makes me think all these thoughts. Let's move on to the next one.
Some people spotted a tiny creature in the woods, and honestly, this one is bizarre. The creature was wearing a robe, walking slowly across the forest floor. It was very small, but then when you focus on its features, it almost looks like Yoda from Star Wars. It was seen pulling a garden gnome out of the ground and then walking away with it. its body slightly hunched, head tilted downward as it moved. With all the strange things captured on camera lately, the paranormal community wasn't too shocked by this footage. Some felt it was an alien, perhaps a smaller species of alien. Some even started arguing that there's a chance that aliens could be smaller beings or have the ability to make themselves small. They argued that if this was the case, then the gnomes and goblins people have been seen in the past are nothing more than aliens. When you think about it like that, it does make sense. If aliens were smaller or had the ability to make themselves small, then they could probably be living amongst us undetected because, we wouldn't be looking out for small creatures when we think alien. As interesting as that sounds, skeptics couldn't help but notice something odd. The way the creature moves and the slightly unnatural appearance makes some believe this could be a CGI creation rather than a real entity. You've seen the clip and heard both sides of the argument, so which do you agree with?
A gnome you are. I can't do Yoda.
Next, we got a clip from two friends who had gone to the dock to hang out. They were just two women casually looking over the water when they noticed something strange. There, walking on the water, was a tall, dark figure. It moved smoothly across the surface, heading toward the middle of the water, and then it crouched down and vanished. When they posted the footage online, people had mixed reactions. Some skeptics claim it was just a reflection. But here's the thing. There was no one else there, and there were no structures or anything that could explain how someone was walking on the water. So if it wasn't a reflection or a trick of the light, what was it? Many believe that given its tall, thin, shadowy appearance, this could be Slenderman, the infamous supernatural entity known to appear in desolate areas. Opinions have been varied, and the comments section of the original post has been nothing short of a war zone. Do you have classified intelligence? Maybe an opinion could help the argument in war to end, huh? A man had just bought a new property in a very remote area. His front yard opened directly into the woods, so he set up a security camera to keep an eye on the road leading to his house. One night, his motion sensor went off. Thinking it was probably just an animal, he grabbed a flashlight and went outside to check. At the time, he didn't see anything unusual. The woods were quiet and nothing was in sight. But since that night, the motion sensor had kept going off repeatedly. So he decided to review the footage from the first night, and that's when he noticed something chilling. As his flashlight swept across the forest, you see it. A dark figure with a pale head darting between the trees. But here's the disturbing part. The way it moved was not normal. It didn't look like walking or running. Its motion was unnaturally smooth, almost as if it was floating. The man was completely spooked. It seemed like something else was lurking on the property with him. But despite the eerie discovery, he doesn't seem willing to leave. He decided he might just have to live alongside whatever this is. Some believe it could be a skinwalker, while others suggest it might be a forest spirit, especially considering how deep in the woods the property is. But you've seen the clip, so what would you have done in his shoes? Think you've seen it all? Well, take a look at this hand. Looks like nothing out of the ordinary until someone literally removes one of the fingers. It looks so real, doesn't it? In reality, though, it's just a prosthetic. This is the work of a company that specializes in hyper-realistic prosthetic fingers and hands for people who have lost their own. They put so much detail into crafting them that you'd barely be able to tell they're made of silicone. The skin texture and even the slightest imperfections are all incredibly convincing. I have to say, they do an amazing job. Imagine you didn't know someone had a finger like that and pulled too hard. I can imagine the number of individuals who might faint or scream in fear if that were to happen. If you had one of these and were feeling mischievous, you could also literally throw your middle finger at someone, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. Imagine what their faces would be like if that were to happen.
You know what? Ah, where's my finger gone?
Have you ever noticed how dogs will suddenly bark and howl in the middle of the night for no reason? Well, this might explain why. A security camera set up in a quiet neighborhood captured something eerie. On the road, you can see a dark, hazy figure appear. It looks humanoid, but it's completely black and shadow-like. As soon as this figure walks past a particular house, the dog inside goes crazy, barking and howling furiously. It's almost like the dog sensed something wasn't right, reacting instantly to whatever this thing was. But what was it? As usual, the community can't seem to come to an agreement on what the shadowy figure could have been. That's not the only mystery on their minds. There's also the lingering question, could this be proof that dogs see things we can't? I guess that's a question we may never be able to answer for a while. Still on mysterious creatures, take a look at this clip that has been going viral for a while now. Someone shared the footage online of what they claim to have spotted in a hole in the ground, and it's very interesting to say the least. When the creature noticed the person filming, it let out a high-pitched rat-like squeak, only its head is visible. It's small, about the size of a monkey, but here's where things get weird. It has no fur. Instead, its skin is wrinkled and human-like, with small, beady black eyes. Now the internet is completely divided. Some believe this could be a newly discovered species, something rare and unknown. Others are convinced it might be a troll or goblin, but not everyone is buying it. Skeptics are certain that the footage is AI-generated. While it looks convincing, it has that too-perfect, slightly unnatural look that suggests it was digitally created. Still, if this is fake, whoever made it did an incredibly good job. For some weird reason, however, I'm not convinced about the authenticity of this clip. My biggest concern is why it has Daffy Duck's voice. Of all the voices in the world, it had the Daffy Duck voice. Anyway, let's move on to the next.
Gino getting ready to hit it all the way down the court with Michael going, maybe? Yep, there it is. Michael Jordan on the breakaway. Wow. 37 for...
Still on viral clips, let's take a look at this one that shows Michael Jordan on the court dribbling the ball when suddenly his hand stretches to an unnatural length before instantly snapping back to normal. When people first noticed this in the footage, the internet went wild, with many claiming that this could be proof of shapeshifting. And since Michael Jordan is a Hollywood-level celebrity, you already know what people say about celebrities being reptilian shapeshifters. But then, as with most things, Julius kind of stepped in with a scientific explanation. He claims this wasn't shapeshifting at all, instead it was just a camera glitch. According to them, when high-speed movement is filming on a standard definition camera, it can cause the image to stretch, making things like arms or legs appear elongated. That explanation makes sense, but let's be honest, it doesn't completely put our minds at ease. If all of these strange glitches are just camera errors, then why do we keep seeing them happen so often? Even with high-end camera systems, not everything needs a scientific explanation, don't you think?
Yep, there it is. Michael Jordan on the breakaway. Wow. 37 for Jordan. It's a 20-point.
He just sort of went snuggling in like he was looking for the rebound all alone, and you had about it.
It's widely speculated belief that heaven is above us in the sky while hell lies deep beneath the surface. I'm not sure how that idea started, but here's what many people have believed for centuries. And maybe that's why there have been so many accounts of people claiming to have heard strange noises coming from the ground, sounds from hell itself. In this footage, a construction worker started hearing something unusual coming from beneath the earth. As he walked over to an already cracked section of ground and opened it, that's when he heard it. A wailing sound, almost like voices crying out in agony. Listen. It sounds unnatural, like a chorus of souls screaming from below. Many people believe that these are the cries of condemned souls who have been trapped in hell or some kind of underworld. One commenter, however, suggested that this could simply be the sound of wind moving through the underground tunnels and crevices, creating an eerie wailing effect. Logical, I know, but this channel examines things beyond the natural. Put on your paranormal lenses and tell me what you see. In various cultures, there are countless tales of forest spirits believed to be the protectors of the woodlands. Some are said to be benevolent, while others are hostile toward humans, especially because of how we have damaged nature over time. But are they all just tales, or is there more to them? Well, a woman who visited the forest claims to have witnessed something strange, maybe even proof of these so-called spirits. While filming near a large tree, she captured something unusual on camera. If you watch the clip closely, you'll notice a long tree branch covered in a thick layer of moss. Everything seems normal until suddenly the moss falls off all at once, as if something had just let go of it. The paranormal community was quick to react, believing that this was a clear sign of a forest spirit, possibly trying to scare the woman away or warn her to leave the area. But skeptics argue that the moss probably fell just naturally with nothing paranormal involved. I mean, things fall all the time. Gravity exists after all, but then again, sometimes there's more to things that we can see. So do you think this was just gravity doing its thing? Or was there a forest spirit watching her that day?
See one moving. Right there. It's actually moving. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my! What the hell is that?
Someone found this strange structure deep in the woods and had no idea what it was, so they shared the footage online. At first glance, it looks like some kind of mysterious device, a hollow metal pole with a ring of long triangular metal pieces hanging downward at the top. At the bottom, there's a small locked door secured with a brand new padlock preventing anyone from opening it. But what exactly is this thing? Unsure, the person did what any 21st century person would do, uploaded it to the internet. Most people online immediately started speculating. Some believe it's a secret underground entrance, possibly leading to a hidden cave system. Others think it looks like some kind of UFO beacon, and honestly, with its strange shape, it does kind of give off that otherworldly vibe. However, in this case, there's actually a logical explanation. This is known as a precipitation gauge. It's part of a SNOTEL, snow telemetry system. These devices are placed in forested areas around the world and are used to measure climate data, especially in snowy regions. So, while it may look suspicious, it's just a weather monitoring tool, not a secret government base, and no alien activity here. At least, not this time. China has some of the most advanced drone technology in the world, and while it's impressive, I can't help but feel uneasy about how far we're taking these devices. Just look at this. Thousands of drones are arranged perfectly on the ground, and the moment they ascend into the sky, they move in flawless synchronization, creating beautiful patterns and shapes. This just seems like a harmless display meant for entertainment, nothing more. But what happens when they malfunction, or worse, if someone hacks into them? It might sound far-fetched, but is it really? Remember the Spider-Man 2 scene? They called it Edith, I think. At the end of the day, these are just machines, and with how precise and efficient they are at following orders, imagine if they weren't programmed for entertainment but for harm. Now take a look at this next clip. A drone zipping through the sky at almost impossible speeds, like a blur of light. Not only are these things getting smarter, but they're also getting faster and more advanced every day. Honestly, it kind of freaks me out. I know I sound paranoid right now because probably I recently watched Terminator again, but just think about it. Think about it.
What is that? Like a nest? Looks like a shoe. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's not like a person.
What do you see when you look at this clip? At first glance, it looks like a person gripping onto the branch for dear life, right? But the longer you look, the less human it seems. Some people believe it could be something that has been in the tree for a long time, blending into its surroundings. But what exactly is it? The paranormal community is convinced this could be a cryptid, some kind of unknown creature using camouflage to hide in plain sight. Skeptics, however, aren't buying it. They believe it's nothing more than a twisted, oddly shaped tree branch that just happens to look like a figure. While that sounds more like a grounded explanation, some in the community did point out that it could be the shell of a skinwalker. I didn't know skinwalkers shed their skin before this clip, but, well, now I think about it, it's literally in the name. Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
What is that? Like a nest? Looks like a shoe. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's not like a person.
This strange, tiny creature has been caught on camera, and honestly, I've no idea what we're looking at. At first I laughed, then I stopped, and then became concerned and maybe a little freaked out. It has the face of a person, but the body is completely different. It's wrinkled and oddly shaped, and its hands are positioned in a way that just looks unnatural. To make things even weirder, it has fur on its back. Just what is this thing? The uploader doesn't state, but some in the community think it could be a mutated rodent or even some kind of human-animal hybrid. Others are throwing out wild theories, with some even suggesting it could be a fae-like creature or an unknown species. Personally, I'm gonna play the Julius advocate here and state it's an AI project or experiment simply because this shouldn't be real. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but anyway, what do you think?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
You need to understand that the music that you listen to will either consciously or unconsciously program your mind. There's a reason why people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Kanye West do not let their children listen to rap music.
You know that saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. Well, maybe we need to take that statement a tad more serious than we do and add sound too. Because if you really think about it, what we hear and consume daily might be affecting us even more than we realize. We take in a lot of information, and most of it comes from what we listen to. Music is a huge part of human entertainment, but have you ever stopped to think about what we're really feeding our minds? Have you ever wondered if it's shaping our worldviews and experiences? Take rap music, for example. It's one of the most popular and influential genres out there, but it's also known for having some of the most violent and negative themes. A lot of mainstream rap is centered around drugs, money, crime, and other destructive behaviors. But here's where it gets deeper. Music is frequency. Some is vibration. And rap music is often said to operate at a low frequency, meaning it could be affecting our energy and mindset more than we think. And if you follow conspiracy theories, you've probably heard the idea that Hollywood and the music industry use music as a tool to program and control people. It's not something we think about, but perhaps it's something we should be actively considering. This guy, and most likely everyone else who has mentioned this theory at some point in time, might be right.
Because this music is filled with horrible subliminal messaging, low vibrational frequencies, and horrible emotions of anger, doubt, fear, and scarcity. If you are someone who wants to do anything great in this life, you have to be extremely intentional about the inputs you're putting into your mind.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya Alim. Ya Amish.
In Islam, spirits, typically evil spirits, are known as jinn. What many people refer to as demons or angels, Islam describes as jinn as well. Now, a man came home one day and walked into something terrifying. From across the hallway inside one of the rooms, he saw a flame, but this wasn't a normal fire. The flame suddenly jumped from the ceiling to the ground, expanding into a massive burst of fire, then shrinking down again. The man, sensing something wasn't right, immediately started to pray. I mean, when you see a fire jumping around in your home, things are definitely not right. And here's where things get even stranger. As he prayed, the flame grew dim, then glared up again, almost as if it was reacting to his words. Many believe this could be a demonic jinn, often described in Islamic belief as beings of fire and smoke. These types of jinn are said to be responsible for causing mysterious fires and burning down homes. There's no sign of anything controlling the fire. No gas leak, no electrical fault, just a flame that seems to move on its own. This has got people convinced that this is the real deal, the real big bad. But are we all entitled to our opinions? Well, you've seen the clips, so what do you also think?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya Amish. Ya Majir. Ya Qanut.
There are plenty of theories suggesting that monsters might be lurking beneath us, tying into the Hollow Earth theory, the idea that deep underground, unknown creatures could exist. Most people dismiss it as just another conspiracy. But then, this happened. Someone captured footage of the ground moving on its own. A section of bricked pavement began shifting as if something underneath was pushing it up. As it moved, the bricks came apart slightly, making it clear that something was underneath, but no one knows what it was. At one point, the movement even knocked over an empty bucket that had been sitting nearby. Now, members of the paranormal community believe this could be some kind of underground creature moving just below the surface, but skeptics disagree. They argue that this is likely caused by trapped gases beneath the pavement or natural underground shifts, possibly due to earth movement or water pressure. What do you think? Most of the time, when people spot Bigfoot, it's described as having brown or black fur, usually wandering through forests. We all know the typical description, a large humanoid ape-like creature lurking in the wilderness. But what about this? A group of men were riding through the snow when they saw something unusual. This white-furred Bigfoot-like creature was walking through the snow, moving just like the classic Bigfoot sightings we've seen before. Except this one wasn't brown or black, it was completely white. Now, some people immediately called this a Yeti, the legendary snow creature of the Himalayas. But this sighting didn't happen in the Himalayas, it happened somewhere else entirely. So was this a rare, winter-adapted Bigfoot, a Yeti that somehow ended up in a different region, maybe visiting his Bigfoot cousin, or something else entirely? Let's hear your thoughts. Have you ever heard of the haunted house of Benjamin Wilson? This house was built way back in the 1860s for a wealthy man, but now it's known as one of the most haunted places due to the horrific stories tied to it. The original owner, Benjamin Wilson, was said to have killed his own daughter. According to local legends, he forced her to sit in a chair for 2 days during a heat wave as punishment for playing with poor children, something he strongly disapproved of. The poor girl ended up dying from heat exhaustion. Decades later, a man visited the house and took some photographs of the building. But when he reviewed them, he noticed something strange. Take a closer look at the windows. There appears to be a ghostly figure of a little boy standing inside. Many believe this could be one of the lost souls trapped in the house, possibly another child who met a tragic fate there. And yes, it's supposed to be that his daughter is definitely not the last person to have died there. Personally, while I love talking about things like this, visiting the locations is another thing.
You know what? If we ever have to visit a location like this, Julius is the one who's going.
A family took their kids to the park for a fun day out when they noticed something strange. Even their young son saw it, and without hesitation, he took off running. In the bushes, just behind the tall grass, there was a tall, pale figure standing completely still. It was only visible for a few seconds, and then it was gone. The moment the parents spotted it, they grabbed their kids and left as fast as they could. But what was that thing? Since the park is frequented by children, some believe it could have been a suspicious person, possibly even a child predator lurking nearby. While that sounds logical, members of the paranormal community think this is something more disturbing, perhaps a cryptid that preys on children or something not of this world. Names like Wendigo, which is believed to have a preference for sweet, fat children, came up. They did investigate the location, but there was nothing there. It was almost as if whatever was caught on camera had just vanished. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? Let's take a look at this footage that was captured by some boaters in the Dominican Republic. They were out in the ocean not too far from the shore when they noticed something unusual. On the beach, there was a humanoid figure standing near the water. Watch closely. It suddenly jumps into the sea, revealing what looks like a tail. But here's where it gets even stranger. This wasn't just one figure, there were several of them, most of them already in the water, their upper torsos visible above the surface. But one in particular kept diving in and out of the waves, moving in a way that didn't seem entirely human. The person behind the camera was even waving at the creatures as the boat floated by. Now, this is interesting. Like many mysterious creatures we've seen on the channel, mermaids have always been considered mythical. But with all the strange things being captured lately, maybe these creatures aren't so mythical after all. Some believe this could be real proof that mermaids exist, while others aren't convinced, suggesting the footage could be edited or simply having humans pretending to be merfolk.
Có xài.南方的蚊子好大哦。
Asia has one of the most unique and diverse food cultures in the world. They can practically turn anything into a meal. So when I first saw this footage, my immediate thought was, is this about food? In the video, 3 men are inside a room and swarming all around them are yellow and black insects. It's unclear whether they're wasps, hornets, or some other species. But what's really shocking is how the men are grabbing them with their bare hands completely unfazed. The insects are buzzing everywhere, some even landing on their backs and arms, yet the men aren't being stung. Instead, they're laughing and interacting with the swarm like it's no big deal. Now, in many parts of Asia, insects like these are actually considered a delicacy due to their high protein content. Some people even farm them specifically for food. But I'm not sure if that's what's happening here. This is just speculation. One thing I am sure of, however, is that I'm definitely not doing this with any wasp. Never.
Có xài. Ồ, 南方的蚊子好大哦。
Back in 2022, a group of people were touring Alaska when they noticed something unusual on the water's surface. There was some kind of creature moving beneath the water, and on the surface you could see several bumps rising and falling, almost like they belonged to a single massive body. The thing is, no one knows what it was. With the ocean being one of the most unexplored parts of the Earth, it wouldn't be surprising if this was some kind of undiscovered sea monster. Because when you look at the movement, whatever this was seemed incredibly long and massive. Unless, of course, it's AI and CGI at work.
What the f?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the f, dude?
No. They were soaked.
But now you probably know the legend of La Llorona, one of the most famous Spanish ghost stories. According to the legend, she was a woman who drowned her children in a river and, consumed by grief, later drowned herself. Since then, she's said to have wandered near bodies of water crying for her lost children. Her wailing is believed to lure people toward her, and before they know it, they're drowning too. There have been countless sightings of La Llorona, especially around Halloween. Now, take a look at this story. Two men were driving down a dark road late at night when they saw something strange. Right in the middle of the road sat a woman, completely soaked, her head bent downward as if she were crying. The moment the men saw her, they were terrified. Instead of stopping, they sped off as fast as they could. But the next day, curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to go back and check the same spot. What they found shocked them. The exact place where she'd been sitting was still damp, meaning something or someone had really been there. And just off the side of the road, a forest area leads to a body of water. Could this be that they had just witnessed La Llorona herself crawling out of the water? Some skeptics argue that this might not have been paranormal at all. What if it was just a real woman in distress? Maybe she'd been in the river nearby, desperately trying to find help, but instead, they just drove her away, leaving her behind.
What the f?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the f, dude?
No. They were soaked.
Have you ever heard of the Hidebehind before? Well, take a look at this footage. It was captured on a trail camera deep in the forest. And if you watch closely on the right side of the screen, you'll see an arm quickly slide behind a tree. But here's the creepy part. We never see who or what the arm belongs to. Now, if you're familiar with old logging folklore, you might know that not every lumberjack who went into the forest came back out. And many of those disappearances were blamed on the Hidebehind. As the name suggests, these creatures are said to lurk behind trees, always just out of sight. They watch their victims, waiting for the perfect moment, and when you least expect it, they snatch you away into the unknown. Legends say they're extremely dangerous, and you'll never see their true form, only glimpses of a shadow, an arm, or part of their body peeking from behind a tree. So if you're ever alone in the woods and suddenly feel like something is watching you, don't ignore it, because if it's a Hidebehind, you might not get the chance to run. Do you remember that Katy Perry concert where, in the middle of a performance, she suddenly said she wasn't feeling well and then collapsed on stage? Someone had to come and carry her off, and the whole thing left fans shocked and confused. But did you notice her eyes and hand movements right before she passed out? She threw up a very odd hand sign, something that didn't seem like a normal reaction. Now, if you don't know where I'm going with this, let me break it down for you. It's no secret that many of the rich, famous, and powerful are rumored to belong to a dark cult, one that requires sacrifices and rituals to maintain their status. And if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that a lot of celebrities have been seen throwing up strange hand signs that many believe are secret salutes to their dark forces. In this situation, some people believe Katy Perry didn't pass out, but was actually possessed. And when you rewatch the footage, her behavior right before collapsing looks unnatural, almost as if something took over her body. But then again, there's no natural way to collapse, so I'll let you guys decide on that one. Some cave hunters made a very strange discovery at the bottom of a dried-up well in the middle of a forest. As they climbed down the well, they expected to find nothing but dirt and stone, but when they reached the bottom, they found something shocking: a hidden underground living area. Just look at this. A fully built space beneath a well. It looked like someone had lived down there. But here's the thing. This isn't the first time any hidden underground spaces like this have been found. People have discovered secret chambers, tunnels, and entire living spaces in the strangest locations. Most of the time, the convenient explanation is that these places were built during wartime, possibly during World War II, as hiding spots or escape routes. But are they all from the war, or could these be some secret chambers that have a completely different purpose?
This is so creepy.
It is creepy.
We gotta go down the stairs.
More stairs.
Do you love noodles? If so, you might want to skip this one because you wouldn't look at your bowl of noodles the same way again. Still here? Well, don't say I didn't warn you. The individual who recorded this was enjoying a bowl of noodles when something truly bizarre happened. One single noodle began to slither out of the bowl on its own, hanging over the side as if it had suddenly come to life. The sight of it moving on its own would be enough to make anyone pause. I know it would leave me traumatized, but not sure what happened after. The individual patiently waited till the noodle made it out of the bowl and stopped recording. The big question on our mind is, did he kill the noodle? Was it an actual noodle? If not, what happened? This is one of the many mystery glowing rings that have appeared in the sky, baffling both experts and casual observers alike. No one seems to know exactly what these strange formations could be, and judging by the footage, they appear strikingly real and convincing. Some believe these rings could be portals to another dimension, while others suggest they might be a rare yet natural phenomenon that we simply don't fully understand yet. The possibilities are endless, and the mystery only deepens as more sightings like this are reported. What do you think? Could this be a sign of something otherworldly, or is there a more grounded explanation waiting to be uncovered? A flight of swallows was gracefully circling the skies in China, and out of nowhere they started plummeting to their deaths. What could have caused such a peculiar and tragic event? But let's get real for a moment. It's like they were caught in the ultimate game of musical chairs, and when the music stopped, well, gravity took over. Nature usually operates with a certain harmony, and seeing a large group of birds behaving so strangely raises some serious questions. Did they encounter some environmental factors like extreme weather conditions or pollution that affected their navigation? Or is there some other, more enigmatic force at play here? Some even suspect it's 5G technology killing these birds, but what do you think? A man from Oregon claims to have stumbled upon a doorway possibly crafted by giants. That's quite the discovery. The structure resembles a massive door constructed with enormous rocks. This looks like someone or something big was involved in this construction project. Now, what do you do when you come across a doorway that could lead to the lair of giants? Well, you don't just stand there and contemplate your life choices. You climb up and give it a knock, of course. Someone in the squad decided to take this opportunity to test the hospitality of potential giant neighbors. But hold on. Let's dissect this a bit. Was this colossal doorway a creation of giants from days of yore, or is it just a natural marvel sculpted by the slow hands of time? The jury's still out on that one. And if by some cosmic chance a giant had swung that door open, what were they expecting to find? Maybe a note from the giant saying, "Be back in 5,000 years." This footage was taken by a homeowner in Kerala, India. As he was parking his car, he noticed something extraordinary, a large panther casually roaming in front of the house. The house seemed to be built near a forest, which might explain why this magnificent creature curiously crept into the compound. Just look at the huge feline, pacing about with such grace and power. It's both mesmerizing and terrifying at the same time. Luckily for the man, he was safely inside his car, so he could remain there while filming the panther's every move. The animal, seemingly unaware of his presence, continued to explore the area. Can you imagine the sheer adrenaline rush he must have felt, knowing that this wild predator was just a few feet away? A family was camping in the woods when they were woken up by strange noises. The father, curious and a bit concerned, decided to investigate. He grabbed his camera and a torch, determined to capture whatever was making these sounds, and he did achieve his goal. But what he found was chilling. Take a look. Crouched on a tree branch was a humanoid figure with glowing eyes that pierced through the darkness. The image, though initially unclear, was enhanced later to reveal more details. The figure, while eerily human in shape, didn't seem quite right. The glowing eyes and the lack of visible clothing pointed to something not entirely human. What was it? He didn't know, which is why he uploaded the clip online. I have my theories on what we might be dealing with, but this is one of those videos where I want to hear from you. You tell me your thoughts and theories. What do you think we're dealing with here? In Florida, this thing was seen in the night sky. It was a glowing thing that had glittery lights coming from its bottom. We don't know what this could be. Is it fireworks, aliens, or something else entirely? Relax, we know you don't have the answers, so Julius, my new assistant, and I did some digging, and the phenomenon apparently aligns with the characteristics of Noctilucent clouds. Also known as night shining clouds, these ethereal clouds are exceptionally rare, manifesting as delicate cloud-like formations in the upper reaches of the Earth's atmosphere. When viewed from space, they're referred to as polar mesospheric clouds, appearing as a diffuse scattering layer of water ice crystals near the summer polar menopause. The appearance of Noctilucent clouds often mesmerizes onlookers due to their captivating luminosity, creating a celestial spectacle that adds a touch of magic to the night sky. Either that or there's something ominous out there. In this perplexing footage, this man shares with the world how he can levitate in the air and float across the forest floor. Skeptics speculate that invisible strings might be at play, conveniently kept out of sight by the camera's framing. While the mysterious levitation captures attention, the hesitancy to reveal what happens above the man's head fuels doubt. A segment of the audience remains unconvinced, attributing the spectacle to clever trickery rather than an unearthly skill. Yet, in certain cultures, meditation is associated with transcendental abilities, blurring the lines between the mystical and the tangible. Is this individual tapping into the realm beyond our comprehension, or is it an elaborate illusion hoax? Tell us what you think in the comments section. This year in Peru, a series of astonishing sightings have left both locals and tourists scratching their heads. Visitors to the remote mountain regions have reported seeing a strange disc-like object suspended in the sky. What makes these reports particularly intriguing is the object's unusual characteristics. It isn't just an ordinary UFO sighting. It's an orange glowing disc which doesn't seem to have a solid, tangible form. Instead, it appears to be more of a light source hovering eerily above the mountain terrain. Witnesses have noticed that it appears almost ethereal, with a glow that fluctuates in intensity. Some believe it could be an advanced form of natural atmospheric phenomenon, perhaps linked to the unique conditions in the Peruvian Andes. Others suggest it might be a reflection of some sort, caused by something within the mountains themselves, perhaps even a hidden source of energy. What do you think this mysterious orange disc could be? Now, I thought I'd bring this clip back to share a different perspective someone shared after I posted it. For a bit of context and for those seeing it for the first time, during this snowy night, an observer noticed something rather peculiar. Half of the area showed snow visibly falling, while the other half remained clear with no snow in sight. At first glance, this looks like some kind of glitch in reality, a strange occurrence where nature seems divided. I did share my opinions in the previous video, but another individual here pointed out that the area where you can see the snow falling has lights installed on the ground, making the snowflakes visible as they descend. The other half without the lights hides the snowfall in the darkness. According to him, it's nothing more than an interesting visual trick that plays with our perception. What do you guys think, though? The advancement of technology has indeed reached a point where the lines between reality and artificial creations are becoming increasingly blurred. This footage from Stan Winston's School of Arts showcases an impressive creation, a mechanical dog that closely mimics the movement and behaviors of a real canine. The intricacy of the mechanics allows the artificial dog to move its head and pant in a remarkably lifelike manner. The way it responds to human interactions, such as having its head rubbed, looks almost real. The level of detail and precision in the construction of these mechanical dogs is nothing short of remarkable. As technology continues to push the boundaries of what's possible, we can't help but imagine what people will come up with next. These creations serve as a testament to the convergence of artistry and engineering, don't you think? Now, what do we have here? A fish swimming in the water, nothing out of the ordinary, right? Wrong. Watch as someone picks up the fish and turns it over, and there it is, the horror. The lower part of the fish is grotesquely torn open, an empty void where the entrails should be. The fish, however, continues to swim, prompting a cascade of questions that lead us into the realm of the uncanny. Is it a zombie fish, maybe? We suspect that the fish is dead and has been infected by a water parasite that takes over the mind and body of the host. I believe it's called a hydra. Skeptics think that someone gutted a fish while it was alive and released it. After all, they do stay alive for a few seconds before finally dying, which could be what's happening here. Some, however, think that it's just a toy fish. What do you think? Back in 1997, a man named Mel Waters made a chilling call to a popular radio show, sharing an eerie story about a mysterious deep hole located on his property. Mel was baffled by the existence of the hole. He had no idea how it got there or what it truly was. But what really caught everyone's attention was the strange phenomena associated with it. For starters, animals seemed to have an instinctive fear of the hole. They would refuse to go near it, almost as if they sensed something ominous about it. Yet the trees and plants surrounding the hole thrived unusually well, creating an eerie contrast to the otherwise unsettling aura of the area. As Mel's story gained traction, it caught the attention of the military. They swiftly took over the property, specifically targeting the hole. Suddenly, Mel was barred from accessing his own land, and when he questioned their presence, he was given a vague and suspicious explanation. They claimed to be investigating a plane crash, but there was no signs of wreckage or debris, no evidence to support their story. The military's actions only deepened the mystery. They brought in all sorts of gadgets and radios to conduct their investigation, but there was one major problem. The radios would malfunction whenever they got too close to the hole. It was as if the hole had its own energy field interfering with electronic equipment. But perhaps the most unsettling detail of all was the hole's seemingly bottomless nature. Mel had tried to measure its depth by lowering fishing lines into it, but they never hit the bottom. The hole just seemed to go on forever. What exactly was this hole? Why did the military take such a keen interest in it? This video is a classic piece of footage dating back to 1967, captured at the PJ Trackway. It features large tracks embedded in the ground, believed by many to be the footprints of Bigfoot. These tracks have sparked countless debates and theories over the years. Some argue that the size and depth of the prints suggest a creature of considerable weight and stature, much larger than any known animal in the region. Skeptics, however, often suggest alternative explanations such as hoaxes or natural formations. What do you think? Could these tracks really be evidence of Bigfoot, or is there a more mundane explanation? You can see 4 men holding down a woman. Now, that might set off some serious alarm bells, but hold off on your judgment until you hear the full scoop.
D'habitude ça arrive un peu, mais là c'est carrément Ils ont dit elle arrive plus à poser
According to them, the woman in question started levitating. Yeah, you heard that right. Levitating, as in defying good old gravity. Before you dismiss it as some street performance gone awry, take a closer look. No strings, no hidden contraptions, just a woman seemingly suspended against the laws of physics. The expressions on the faces of the men holding her down tell a tale of genuine concern. Does that make this real? A woman challenging the forces that keep us grounded. It's kind of the stuff that fuels both skepticism and wonder. Is it a case of supernatural levitation, a glitch in the Matrix, or something else entirely? In the realm of the ocean's embrace, a seemingly routine retrieval mission takes a spine-chilling turn. A man having dropped something precious into the depths takes the plunge into the azure waters to reclaim his lost treasure. Little does he know that beneath the surface, an unforeseen danger lurks in the form of a silent and swift ocean predator. As he secures his prized possession, his friends, sensing the impending threat, urgently beckon him to return to the safety of the surface. Ignoring their warnings, our intrepid explorer, driven by curiosity as deep as the ocean itself, dives once more into the aquatic realm to understand the urgency of his friends' pleas. And then the revelation strikes like a lightning bolt. A shark, its sleek form gliding ominously toward him. The footage tantalizingly cuts off at this juncture, leaving us suspended in a moment of suspense, with the fate of the daring diver hanging in the balance. What transpired next in the silent dance between man and shark beneath the waves? I guess we may never know, but seeing as this footage was posted, we can safely state that he's alive and well. Or at least hope so. This was allegedly recorded by a man who was walking through the woods. Unknown to him, something rather bizarre and offsetting awaited him. There, on a broken structure tangled with tree roots, was a strange-looking snake that was unlike anything he'd seen before. It had two long, menacing horns protruding from its head and what appeared to be fins under its mouth. The creature bore an eerie resemblance to a miniature dragon, except it lacked legs. The horns and fins gave it an almost mythical appearance, making it look like something straight out of a fantasy novel. When this began to circulate, some began to wonder if this could be the remnant of a prehistoric era, a serpent that forgot, or even a species that we are yet to have documented. While the whole thing sounded interesting, some raised questions on the authenticity of the clip. Like most things on the internet, however, we're unable to verify its authenticity, so this is something you would have to take with a grain of salt. What do you think, though? Could this be real or someone messing with us? A woman was at the beach, standing on a rock, gazing down at the water below when she spotted something incredible. Out on one of the rocks in the middle of the ocean was a creature unlike anything she'd ever seen. It had the upper torso of a human and the lower body of a fish, a typical mermaid, right there in the open. But as amazing as this sounds, something about this footage feels off, almost like it's been edited. The way the creature moves, the lighting, or maybe even the way it blends into the background all seem a bit too perfect, almost like it's too good to be true. What do you think? In this intriguing footage, a star-shaped craft is captured by a drone soaring high above the clouds. Now let's peer into the cosmic conundrum. Could this be an extraterrestrial rendezvous point, an alien base hovering in the sky? Just imagine UFOs from different corners of the universe converging at this starry hub. A tantalizing theory, if I do say so myself. But, and here's the twist, some skeptics suggest a more down-to-earth explanation: CGI. Could this celestial marvel be a product of creative rendering rather than an interstellar gathering place? A part of me knows it is, but my heart, which loves all things alien, believes it's a UFO. Don't point the obvious out, just allow me to enjoy this. In Minnesota, USA, this flying object was seen. As you can see, it's nothing like our usual UFO sightings. Instead of the typical sleek metallic craft, this airborne mystery took a form of what appeared to be a floating log. Now, if you're used to saucers whizzing through the sky, the sight of a log leisurely hanging in the heavens might raise an eyebrow or two. Is this a timber-powered spacecraft defying gravity? Well, not quite. This floating log could be a whimsical interplay of perspective and atmospheric conditions. Perhaps it's a weather balloon, a drone with an unconventional shape, or just a playful optical illusion. Who knows? But as the people of Minnesota scratch their heads at this timber enigma, one thing is for sure: the skies have a way of surprising us with the unexpected. What you're seeing here is a mesmerizing display of starlings in flight, often referred to as a murmuration. This flock was captured over a river, creating a pattern in the sky that's almost defying belief. In one of these formations, the birds seem to outline the shape of a single bird in flight, an uncanny and beautiful sight. And when put side by side with an actual starling in sight, they were the same. These formations aren't just random. Starlings move in such synchronized ways to protect themselves from predators, communicate with each other, and navigate as a group. What do you think these starlings could be communicating? Is it simply instinct, or could there be a deeper symbolic message in these patterns? Unlike the silver marmoset, which is a real creature, this next one is completely fake. Take a look at this four-legged creature with bat-like wings. It looks so animated that even Aaron didn't give it a second look. This mythical-looking beast seems straight out of a fantasy novel or a CGI-heavy movie. Its exaggerated features and unlike combination of limbs and wings are a dead giveaway that it's not something you'd find in the real world. The animation quality might be good, but for anyone with a keen eye, it's obvious this is a creation of digital artistry, not nature. Take a look at this footage. We're introduced to an alien creature walking among people. The creature had huge black eyes, a small head, and a humanoid body with no indication of genitalia, so we can't tell if it's male or female. I don't even know why I thought of gender, but let's move on. Now, the skeptics in the audience are already raising eyebrows and shouting CGI. This is a reasonable idea, seeing as this does not exactly look real. Given how technology has evolved, anyone with a computer can now whip anything into reality. Visit TikTok and you'll see what I mean. The believers, on the other hand, are all in, ready to welcome our new alien neighbors with open arms. After all, if E.T. could phone home, why can't this enigmatic creature call our earthly neighborhoods home? Exploring the enigmatic beauty of nature, these mysterious caves stand at the water's edge with waves rhythmically flowing in and out of their openings. The allure of these caverns lies not only in their natural aesthetics, but also in the mystery that surrounds their hidden depths. But where do they lead to? One possibility is that these caves are part of an interconnected system with passages leading to various chambers or even extending beneath the seabed. The unknown nature of these spaces adds an element of excitement, as the exploration of caves often unveils surprises ranging from unique geological formations to the presence of undiscovered life forms adapted to subterranean habitats. What are your thoughts on these mysterious caves? Do you envision them as portals to hidden realms or simply as geological wonders shaped by the forces of nature? With everything I have seen about aliens recently, I'm convinced they're no longer interested in hiding from us. This footage was captured by a passenger on a plane who was filming the mountains below. A smooth, flat, and spherical craft suddenly appeared floating by the plane. It moved closer and flew just below the aircraft, giving us a clear and close view. The craft was remarkably smooth with a silver shiny surface that reflected the sunlight. It had no visible windows or any markings that could indicate what might be inside. The slate-polished appearance of the object made it look otherworldly. Is this one of the many UFOs that have been reported recently? Well, the uploader and most individuals who saw it seemed to think so, but someone asked a rather important question. What do you think the answer to that is? This footage, captured by a security camera, has sparked quite a bit of debate. In the video, you can clearly see a door slowly opening on its own with no visible signs of anyone nearby to push or pull it. As the door swings open, something even stranger happens. A white, smoke-like mass appears to pass into the room. This mysterious mist doesn't have a definitive shape, only becoming visible as it enters the space. The building's owner is convinced that what we are seeing is some sort of ghost or entity making its presence known. They believe the door opening on its own and the appearance of the mist are clear signs of paranormal activity. After all, it's not every day that a door opens by itself, let alone with a strange mist following closely behind. However, skeptics have a different take on the situation. They argue that this footage could easily be staged. They suggest that the door might have been rigged to open remotely, and the mist might simply be smoke or steam added later to give the illusion of something supernatural. So what do you think? Is this genuine footage of a ghostly presence or just a clever trick? A man and his wife heard their dog barking, which naturally drove them to the spot to check it out.
Danny, come here, bud.
Danny, come here.
Come here, boy.
Now, Danny.
Get away from there.
After a few seconds, they saw a shadow of someone standing in the dark some moments after they switched on the lights. Under the sudden illumination stood an alien being. Its bug-like eyes peered intensely at the bewildered couple, as if probing the depths of their souls with an inscrutable gaze. How did this thing get there, and where did it come from? They assumed that the encounter was one with an alien. I know it's wild and all, but let's keep our feet on the ground for a second. Perhaps there's a logical explanation behind this encounter. Some more digging into details might help us figure out if it's genuine or just a case of the light messing with our heads.
Danny, come here, bud.
Danny, come here.
Come here, boy.
Now, Danny.
While on a mountaintop, a woman was filming when she noticed something strange.
You're here.
Her companion's hair was standing straight in the air, and as she passed her hands through the air, there was a low zipping sound like it was electricity. Some have suggested that it could be a sign of an impending lightning strike, a natural phenomenon often associated with hair standing on end due to the electrical charge in the atmosphere. On the other hand, some also entertain the idea that it might be linked to an energy field or even a portal of sorts. What do you think is more plausible? This video from 2016, originally posted by a Reddit user, has certainly stirred up a lot of curiosity. The footage captures the woods near the user's house, where strange noises had been echoing all evening. These sounds are eerie and defy easy explanations, leading to a flood of theories from people trying to make sense of what they heard. Some speculated that it might be a malfunctioning radio tower causing strange signals to resonate through the area. Others thought it could be someone drilling nearby, though no construction was reported in the vicinity. A few even suggested that the noises could be wind passing through pipes or some other natural phenomenon. However, none of these explanations seem to fit the situation perfectly. What's particularly odd is that similar mysterious sounds have been reported all over the world. These unexplained noises have been heard in various locations, from dense forests to urban areas, yet no clear explanation has ever been given. The sounds range from metallic groans to eerie howls, and they often leave those who hear them with more questions than answers. Do you remember the famous Patterson-Gimlin film, often referred to as the Patty film? This iconic footage, captured in 1967, allegedly shows a Bigfoot, a creature that has sparked endless debates and frenzies within the cryptozoology community. Some skeptics quickly dismissed it, claiming it was nothing more than a person in a costume. But let's take a closer look at what some experts and enthusiasts have pointed out. If you focus on the thigh of the creature, you'll notice something intriguing. The fur in that area appears to be worn down. This subtle detail might seem insignificant at first, but it could be a crucial piece of evidence. The wear and tear on the fur could suggest something more than just a fabricated suit. It's believed that this wear comes from the creature's hands grazing that particular spot as it walks and swings its arms, a behavior consistent with Bigfoot, which is known for having long arms. So what do you think, Bigfoot or not? Now let's take a break and listen to this truck driver's sentiments, which I share.
Man, honestly, I don't even care about going viral. That's the honest truth. I just make these videos to share with you guys stuff that I see as a truck driver. And everybody else is gonna have an opinion. I already know.
Yup. That's exactly how I feel. I mean, I know he said he didn't want it to go viral, but we do, so please hit that like button and comment if you haven't already, and share. Thank you. Now here's a peculiar incident captured on the footage. A sizable bird seemingly suspended mid-air above a street. A fireman on a truck attempts to dislodge the bird using a long rod, but the creature remains in an unnatural state, neither falling nor flapping its wings. This perplexing scene raises questions about the laws of physics and nature. Naturally, speculations about a potential glitch in the matrix or the bird being connected to a line have surfaced. But then, the location of this incident doesn't seem like a good place to pull such a stunt, don't you think? A more scientific explanation is that the bird is caught in an updraft or wind current, allowing it to hover without flapping its wings. But even that seems like a long stretch. Birds, especially large ones, can utilize air currents to maintain their position in the sky, creating a motionless appearance. Could this be one of such, or are we dealing with a real glitch in the matrix? This oddly shaped cloud was spotted in India, and it has sparked quite a bit of curiosity. The cloud is round, with what looks like a path extending toward the Earth. What's even more intriguing is that inside this path there appears to be a UFO-like object, as if the craft emerged from the round formation and is now descending through the path. But this isn't the only time that weird clouds have been spotted in the sky. All around the world, people have reported seeing unusual cloud formations, and the most common explanations range from cloaked UFOs to lenticular clouds, which are often mistaken for something more mysterious due to their smooth lens-like shape. Some people also speculate that these clouds could be hiding advanced military aircraft being tested in secret. So what do you think? Are these clouds just natural formations, or could they be hiding something more? This footage was released to the public by Iranian officials. It reveals the astonishing discovery of two mummified bodies, not just ordinary mummies, but those of giant beings found hidden within an ancient tomb in Iran. According to the authorities, These colossal remains are believed to belong to ancient kings who ruled the land centuries ago, adding a layer of historical significance to this already extraordinary find. One of the mummies, according to the officials, is a replica, possibly created to honor these once mighty rulers or perhaps to conceal a deeper truth. The other mummy, however, remains shrouded in mystery. Officials have been surprisingly tight-lipped about it, offering little to no explanation, which only fuels the intrigue. Why the secrecy? What secrets might this ancient giant hold? The sheer size of these beings raises numerous questions. Were they truly human? If so, how did they come to be so large? And what kind of power did they wield in their time? Some speculate that these giants could be connected to ancient myths and legends that speak of a race of giants who once walked the earth. This discovery opens the door to countless possibilities and theories. Could these giants have been rulers of an ancient, forgotten civilization, or is there something more mysterious at play? Something that challenges our understanding of history itself. During a live stream, a man zoomed in on the moon and apparently caught sight of what seems to be like a fleet of UFOs zipping across the sky. Now, the big question here is, are we witnessing a genuine, unidentified flying object phenomenon, or could these specks be something more mundane, like satellites doing their orbital dance around the Earth? I mean, that's certainly a possibility. With the ever-growing number of satellites in our skies, they might be easily mistaken for extraterrestrial visitors. But hey, who can blame them? The allure of the unknown and the thrill of spotting potential extraterrestrial guests on the moon is exciting to think about. Death is a topic that people don't like to talk about, but unfortunately, it's part of our reality as mortals. Now, how would you feel if we had a chance to bring our lost loved ones back? In this footage, a family is having a funeral for a loved one. However, as a relative steps forward to offer a final touch, a gesture of closure, the unthinkable happens. The seemingly departed loved one awakens. The shock and disbelief ripple through the gathered mourners, transforming the atmosphere from one of mourning to a mixture of astonishment and perhaps joy. Usually when people die, they're taken to the mortician where procedures are done to prep the body for burial, so this seems impossible unless the dead was taken directly for burial after death. Meaning this is a miraculous event defying the natural causes of life and death, or is there an underlying explanation, perhaps a medical phenomenon that mimicked death? Humans might be on the brink of a breakthrough in extending life. A new drug has been developed, and when tested, it extends the lifespan of a middle-aged mice by 25% while also slowing down the aging process. This drug doesn't just add years, it appears to enhance the quality of life, reducing the rate of cancer deaths and potentially addressing age-related diseases like fibrosis, chronic inflammation, and more. There's a buzz around this development, with many speculating that this drug could be the NMN, nicotinamide monocleotide, a compound already known for its potential anti-aging effects. If this research continues to show promise, we could be looking at a future where aging is significantly delayed, bringing us one step closer to the concept of immortality. We're not entirely sure if this is also another drug altogether. Either way, this is going to be a game changer, don't you think? What are we looking at here is an alleged footage from World War II where a man appears to single-handedly topple a tank. At first glance, it might seem like he's incredibly strong or perhaps has some sort of superpower, but the reality is far less fantastical. This isn't a real tank at all. What he's dealing with is actually an inflatable tank decoy and a rubber tank. These decoys were used during the war to deceive enemy forces, making them think they were facing much larger and more formidable armies than they actually were. These clever tactics were a part of psychological warfare designed to mislead and confuse the enemy. It's fascinating to think about how something so simple as a rubber inflatable could play a significant role in a global conflict, tricking even the most seasoned military strategists. In this next footage, things get even weirder. A gardener was going about his job when all of a sudden he tripped over a block and fell. But let's slow down the footage so we can take a better look at it. The block was in the corner, nowhere close to the man's feet, but as he took a step, an unknown force pushed the block onto the man's feet and he tripped on it and fell. The big question is, did our green-thumbed friend unknowingly disturb a spirit, or is this some mischievous force just a playful spectator in the cosmic gardening show? Perhaps the spirits of the gardener just trying to add a dash of excitement to the daily routine. What do you think? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot or a giant after you now, would you? Next up is this strange footage that made rounds on the internet some time ago.
God, I can't even see it. What the hell's wrong?
No, it's straight up and down.
In the footage, a strange white humanoid figure was seen in the sky. When you zoom in, you could see its hands, head, and legs. This thing stood upright in the sky. It's not just one enthusiastic videographer that captured this airborne anomaly. It's a whole squad of sky gazers capturing the same surreal sight. But the burning question remains, what in the world, or out of it, is going on up there? Could this be some next-level superhero casually defying gravity, or following the trend of all things mysterious in the sky, are we looking at a potential alien visitor? The plot thickens, my friend. Keep your eyes on the sky. Who knows what else might decide to drop in for a visit? Imagine waking up to something this large on the net of your door. Seeing it gives me the heebie-jeebies. The original poster claimed it was a mosquito, but that can't be right. So what exactly are we looking at here? It's definitely not your average mosquito. The sheer size alone sets it apart. Just look at the right wings and legs with what looks like white spots on it. Some have speculated that it could be a cranefly, which is often mistaken for a giant mosquito due to its long legs and wings. Despite its appearance, a cranefly is harmless and doesn't bite like a mosquito. However, the sheer size of this particular specimen could suggest it's an entirely different species. Anyone familiar with entomology who might be able to pinpoint exactly what this creature is, please let us know. This picture was taken at Lawang Sawu, a place with a reputation for being haunted. In the image, you can see a man standing in a doorway, but what's unsettling is the face peeking over his shoulder staring directly into the camera. According to both the man in the photo and the person who took it, there was no one else present at the time. So what could that face be? Given the haunted history of Lawang Sawu, some believe this mysterious face could be an entity from the spiritual realm. The building is known for its eerie past, with stories of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena. Could this be evidence of something supernatural? What do you think? This eerie 2006 footage, released by the police years later, unveils a mysterious and unsettling incident that occurred in a forest rumored to be a hotspot for strange occurrences. The unidentified man, driven by motives unknown, ventured into the woods and soon found himself in a dire situation.
Oh God. What?
As the footage rolls, an unseen entity or creature starts stalking the man, emitting bone-chilling, screeching sounds that grow progressively closer.
Okay, I'm not like this. Oh, shit. I can't.
Faced with an unknown and potentially menacing pursuer, the man attempts to escape, but the camera ultimately falls, leaving the fate of the adventurer unresolved. What was chasing him through those haunted woods, and why does the forest guard its secrets so fiercely? Naturally, speculation runs wild, with some wondering if it was a creature of the supernatural, a denizen of folklore, or something else entirely. Having seen it, what do you think this could be? Let's dissect this electrifying footage, a raw capture of the very moment lightning struck a tree near a home. Upon closer inspection, an intriguing element unfolds. The impact of the lightning engulfs the surroundings in a bright light, revealing what appears to be a figure disintegrating in a thin air. Speculations around this occurrence lean toward the supernatural, some suggesting it might be a fallen angel or a demon meeting a dramatic end. Next, we visit Switzerland, where something rather unusual allegedly just showed up in their skies one day. Let's take a look. No, you aren't imagining things. There's a strange, string-like light swirling in the air that resembles a glowing portal. The light had a blue light hue and appeared to be moving in a circular pattern. The footage was taken from the side, offering a clear view of the mysterious formation. The sighting has left many wondering, could this be some sort of portal? Personally, I get why they would think that, as the swirling motion and the ethereal glow certainly give it an otherworldly appearance. Although it's not too different from the alleged clips on portals we've shared on this channel, we must agree that this one is a bit unique. Is it authentic? A number of individuals are divided on that. Some believe this is an actual and true portal, whereas others think this was digitally inserted and placed online. You've seen the clip. What do you think is the most plausible? Someone shared this footage of a strange figure in the sky, and it's got everyone talking. The figure appears to be a person in a white robe, standing with their head down before slowly lifting it, arms wide apart, almost resembling a depiction of Jesus. The eerie sight has sparked a lot of speculation, with some wondering if it's a divine sign or something supernatural. However, when you take a closer look, it starts to seem a bit too perfect. The way the figure moves and the clarity of the image in contrast to the surroundings make it look heavily edited. While it's captivating, it's likely just another case of digital trickery playing on our imaginations. At least, that's what Julius said, and I'm going along with him this time. What say you?
Means it's someone.
Careful.
Lucky.
Oh, shit.
And as you can see in this chilling footage captured by a family, shows a massive snake navigating its way from the roof of their house on a nearby trees. The sheer size of the serpent is enough to evoke a sense of awe and fear, especially as it gracefully moves between the structures. Snakes are known for their agility and climbing abilities, but witnessing such a colossal specimen in a residential area is undoubtedly a rare and unsettling experience. As the family's camera captures the unfolding saga, the colossal serpent casually lifts its head, surveys the surroundings with a reptilian nonchalance, and then, brace yourself, begins its majestic ascent to another tree. The video not only showcases the impressive physical capabilities of the snake, but also highlights the potential encounters with wildlife that can occur in unexpected places. If you ever see a snake like this, run and get help. It may be too dangerous to engage it by yourself.
He's quite beautiful, isn't he? No.
Is he?
No, but
is
look
he
at his skin. He is beautiful.
Is he a tree snake?
No.
In this mystifying tapestry of the Mexican sky, an eerie symphony unfolds, strange trumpet sounds that reverberate through the air, seemingly descended from the heavens themselves. The haunting notes are accompanied by a chorus of creatures as dogs unleash their bewildered barks and birds join in the discordant harmony, creating an atmosphere that tiptoes on the edge of the uncanny. Animals are often considered to have heightened senses, and their responses could be interpreted as instinctive reactions to something beyond human perception, perhaps something ominous and dangerous. The unexplained nature of these sounds prompts a myriad of questions. What could the source of these trumpet-like noises be? Some theories suggest atmospheric or geological phenomena, while others delve into more speculative ideas involving extraterrestrial activity or even paranormal occurrences. What do you personally think, though? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now, back to today's episode. The first time I saw this, I was baffled, thinking it was some kind of strange rat and monkey hybrid. Just look at this creature with its silky white fur, bright orange ears, and piercing black eyes. It's not something you see every day, that's for sure. Well, what you're actually looking at is called a silver marmoset. These little guys are part of the marmoset family, which are small New World monkeys. Despite their tiny size and almost doll-like appearance, they're known for being quite active and social animals. The silver marmoset's distinctive look, with that contrast between its snowy white fur and the vivid orange on its ears, makes it stand out in the animal kingdom. But don't be fooled by its cute appearance. They're curious creatures with a strong bond to their family groups, often seen scampering around the treetops in their native habitats of the Amazon rainforest. Silver marmosets, like other marmosets, have sharp claws instead of nails, which they use to climb trees and forage for food. They mainly eat fruits, insects, and the occasional small vertebrae, making them agile hunters despite their small stature. So while it might look like something out of a fantasy, the silver marmoset is very real and a fascinating example of the diversity found in the animal kingdom. This footage was shared by a man who visited a massive, mysterious facility. In the video, you can see some construction taking place, but there's no clear indication of what the facility is for. The sheer size of the place adds to the intrigue, making it all the more suspicious. One commenter suggested it might be a tunnel or the bottom of a ship, but there's no way to know for sure. The scale of the construction raises questions about what could be happening there. Is it a secret government project, a large-scale industrial operation, or something else entirely? What do you think this place could be, and what might be going on behind those walls? Do you believe in time travel? No? Well, how do you explain this? We see a man at a Disney concert with Prime written on the back. At first glance, there's nothing odd, right? Until you move back to the present day and realize there's a drink today called Prime with a similar logo. Did one of their staff travel back in time, or did someone who loves their drink do so? Chances are it's a coincidence because the logo in itself is very simple and easy to replicate. That doesn't mean it couldn't also be time travel. Either way, let's hear your thoughts.
Did you guys see that? What happened there? It's not every day you see a basketball blocked off by nothing, is it? A number of individuals think there was some unseen force there. There are also some who think he was going off script and was corrected by the higher-ups. How did they do that? Well, we don't know. There are some more grounded explanations, including the fact that he may have lost his grip. Not sure how that translates into a powerful kickback, but I'm sure we've got some basketball pros here. So can you guys help? Speaking of strange forest encounters, I've got another one for you. This was recorded by a lady who was going through a forest. We're not sure where this was recorded or when, but we're introduced to a chaotic scene. While we can't see any of the chaos, we can hear it. Listen. Do you hear it? There's a man screaming for help, and the lady can be heard mentioning a name. She sounds confused, almost as though the voice belongs to someone she knows. What could be going on here? Well, we aren't exactly sure, but we do have theories. Some of our team members suggested right away, based on the nature of the whole clip, that she may be dealing with a skinwalker trying to lure her in with familiar sounds. Others thought it might be some other cryptid scaring her and whatnot. To be fair, any of these is possible, but as the camera pans, we notice something. Perhaps a face with a pair of eyes. Not sure if you can see it, the footage is quite blurry. I know you don't like blurry clips, and I know I'm asking a lot on this one, but what do you guys think about the whole thing? Share your thoughts and the reasons for those thoughts. We'll be reading.
Eyes?
It was this strange, elongated object slithering through the sky like a serpent. Unlike an aurora, this phenomenon was eerie and distinct, leaving her baffled. It seemed to have a glowing quality, and its movement was almost hypnotic, like a snake gliding through the air. Some people speculate that it could be some form of energy or an atmospheric anomaly, while others think it might be a UFO disguised as a natural phenomenon. The footage has sparked intense debate online, with viewers divided on what exactly was captured that night. What do you think this could be? A natural occurrence or something more otherworldly? Have you ever had a fabric turn into another color in your hand? No? Watch this. This individual was holding a green fabric and noticed it was capable of changing colors. The person goes out to demonstrate while holding the fabric, and truly it did turn blue from the color green. The question is, how? Many thought it was a glitch, but Julius just laughed. It's all about the light intensity and bulb color, he said. As much as I'd hate to agree with him, I think he's right on this one, but what say you? This footage was captured in the UK. It shows glowing orbs clustered together in the night sky. These objects appear to move with precision and seem to maintain a deliberate formation as they glide through the air. The sight is undeniably captivating and has sparked significant discussion online. Many enthusiasts suggest these could be plasma UFOs. They're believed to be otherworldly crafts or entities composed of energy rather than solid matter. Plasma UFO theories are often linked to their luminous fluid-like appearance and their intelligent movement patterns. What do you think? Take a look at what this man has to say about our minds.
So the programs that you get for the first 7 years are not yours. They came from other people, and they pass that on to you. But the problem is, it's not just the previous generation, the generation before, the generation before, so we pass down through the family.
It's pretty trippy when you think about it. He suggests that our minds are like programs passed down to us from those who came before. In other words, our paths in life are shaped by the influences of what we've seen or heard from others as we grew up. It's a wild concept, right? The basic idea is that we're all running on inherited mental software, following patterns set by previous generations. What do you think about this? Does it make sense, or is it a bit too far out there?
The generation before, the generation before, so we pass down through the family.
These two huge orbs were spotted in the sky, one hovering at the top and the other below. At first, they seemed just like another mysterious sighting, but then something extraordinary happened. The lower orb began to ascend slowly, making its way toward the one above. As soon as the two orbs touched, there was a sudden burst of light, illuminating the entire sky, followed by a loud booming noise that echoed across the area. Even a nearby dog started barking frantically, clearly disturbed by the strange event. This bizarre incident has left many wondering what exactly could have happened. Were these orbs some sort of experimental aircraft, possibly from a secret military project, or could they be something more otherworldly, like extraterrestrial crafts merging for reasons beyond our understanding? Some have even speculated that this could be a sign of an interdimensional event where two realities briefly collided. What are your thoughts on this? Speaking of strange occurrences, have you ever wondered what the devil looks like? No? Well, take a look at this clip coming from Mexico.
¡No mames, güey! ¡Dios mío, güey! ¿Qué es esto, güey? ¡Trae cuernos, güey! ¡Trae cuernos, güey! ¿Qué trae cuernos, güey? ¡Es Lucifer, güey! ¡Es el diablo! ¡Ah, cabrona, 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 cabrona!
According to the one who uploaded it, the townspeople heard someone screaming and rushed to the location. Once they got there, this was what they were met with. Just by seeing its appearance, they concluded that they had seen the devil. Naturally, they started shouting and screaming. Some started addressing it as the devil and even started to rebuke it. Intrigued by the whole experience, they uploaded it online to share what had happened to them. While we do love the paranormal and everything in it, seeing this just didn't click. It felt more like we were dealing with a man in a costume than a paranormal entity. Maybe that's just me. Well, you've seen the clip, so you tell me what you think.
¡No mames, güey! ¡Dios mío, güey! ¿Qué es esto, güey? ¡Trae cuernos, güey! ¡Trae cuernos, güey! ¿Qué trae cuernos, güey? ¡Es Lucifer, güey! ¡Es el diablo! ¡Ah, cabrona, 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 cabrona!
Speaking of dramatic, if you thought that was dramatic, then it's definitely because you haven't seen this bit of clip. Take a look.
Hopefully we didn't like part 2. What is
Who is
that? Michelle,
What?
Go.
Go! What the hell? He's right there!
It's little Yoda!
Come inside! Over here! Jesus! Who is that?
This footage was recorded by a group of friends exploring an abandoned place ominously known as the Undead Village.
They were filming their adventure when, out of nowhere, the man you see on your screen charged toward them. He chased them for quite some time until they managed to take cover in an abandoned area. This clip cuts off shortly after, but the assumption is that they got out safely. While I appreciate the thrill of exploring area locations, it's always a good idea to carry some safety gear. That said, not everyone's convinced this is real. Some viewers think the whole scene might have been staged for views. So what's your take? Do you believe this was an authentic encounter, or do you think it was all just a clever setup? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I don't know, come on! Yo. He's on him. Go, 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 go. Oh my God.
Have you ever heard of a place called Blind Frog Ranch and Skinwalker Ranch? These places are shrouded in mystery with tales that have been passed down through generations. Both locations have become infamous for the strange and unexplained phenomena that seems to occur there.
They've seen people actually turn into different animals, like a coyote.
The cows, they'd find them in the morning all like mutilated. I believe that they've always been here.
The most chilling stories come from the indigenous people who once inhabited these lands. They spoke of the Skinwalker, a creature capable of taking the form of any living being. This wasn't just a mythical creature to them, it was a terrifying reality. The Skinwalker was believed to be a powerful witch who could transform into animals, using this ability to carry out its dark deeds. Imagine the fear of seeing someone in your village turn into a wolf, a coyote, or even a bird right before your eyes. And then, as the sun rose in the morning, finding your livestock brutally mutilated with no clear explanation. The terror these people must have felt is hard to comprehend. Even today, stories of strange encounters and unexplainable events continue to surface from both Blind Frog Ranch and Skinwalker Ranch. People report seeing unidentified lights in the sky, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread when they step foot in these lands. What is it about these places that attracts so much mystery? Are they really haunted by skinwalkers, or is there something else at play?
The cows, they'd find them in the morning all like mutilated. I believe that they've always been here.
This strange orb was seen flying in the sky, capturing the attention of onlookers. It appeared much larger than a typical star and moved with a speed and precision that defied the usual patterns of celestial bodies. Orbs like this are often linked to extraterrestrial phenomenon, fueling speculation about their origin and purpose. Unlike conventional aircraft or known astronomical objects, these orbs exhibit behavior that suggests advanced technology or intelligence moving in ways that seem calculated, almost as if they're being guided by something beyond our understanding. This sighting adds to the growing number of unexplained aerial phenomena reported worldwide. What are your thoughts? Remember when we shared the clips about people's radios picking up strange frequencies that felt like someone was trying to communicate with them? Well, we've got another one, but this time it's through the television. This woman's time from behind her telly was suddenly interrupted by strange sounds coming from it. And when I say strange, I mean strange. Listen. Hear that? Once more, her television kept telling her that her streaming service was getting interrupted. She adds that she's had her service interrupted in the past, but it never sounded like this. This made her feel someone or something was trying to make contact with her through her television. Once she uploaded the clip, everyone shared the exact same sentiment, but you gotta wonder who or what is responsible. Many in the paranormal community have concluded it's aliens, and I do get where they're coming from, especially with all these crazy things happening around us. I saw some comments like this under the original post, and so I did, and when I did, it sounded something like this. It really does sound like someone's communicating, right? What could they be saying, and are they really talking to us? While a majority of the paranormal community believes they're talking to us, there are some who believe they're talking to themselves. Should we be worried? Are we blowing things out of proportion? Please share your thoughts on this.
Is that what they are?
They're
There them
blinking.
shit out there. They're sure out
There's
there.
a bunch. Look.
Yeah, I see those eyes right there.
Glenn. Glenn!
You see that?
What is that? What is it?
Wow, that's them.
This next footage was shared by a family who were outside at night when they noticed something strange just beyond their fence in the nearby forest. There were blinking lights, a lot of them, just floating in the darkness of the woods. At first, they were shocked and confused because, well, they couldn't see any creatures, just the blinking eyes shining in the night. After watching for a while, they realized what it was, just cows. They even laughed it off, relieved that it was nothing paranormal, but maybe they left too soon. In Romanian folklore, there are creatures known as strigoi. They're believed to be evil or troubled spirits that can take the form of anything from animals to humans or even shapeless shadows. And when strigoi find their victims, they drain their vitality, leaving them weak and lifeless. So were these just normal cows that happened to show up out of nowhere, or is there a chance that what they saw wasn't cattle at all, but strigoi?
Yes,
Yeah,
there
there
is.
too.
You're down too low. Oh my God, y'all.
There's something just
it's
yeah, it's a cow. That's why his head was going up and down.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we will post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.
Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.